This morning I've been working on a new lino print design. This one I've started on paper and it should probably remain on paper before it goes onto lino. And what I've done is I've got 2 sheets of paper, so I'm drawing in the correct way, you know, in the readability way, and then 2 sheets of paper with carbon paper underneath, which means that I then get a negative image on the second piece of paper, and that will mean I'll have something to trace onto the lino with later. So if I just remove these staples, keeping the staples just means that nothing moves around, and the image shouldn't be translated in a sort of jaggedy way. So there's my original design, and then here is my negative. So there's my negative, and of course that's the carbon paper with the transfer carbon facing up, so it presses negatively into this image. The dimensions of this particular design is 6 inches by 4 inches, and it will just be intended to be either a greeting card or a postcard. The pencil I used to push the image through onto this piece of paper was a 4H pencil, which is a very firm lead, and it gives me a good crisp image, whereas something like with a sort of a nice B number would be a very soft pencil, and that tends not to give you such a clear image. So I've now transferred my design onto the lino block. Whilst I was tracing it, I have decided to leave off the black strips either side, because I feel like it doesn't really fit within the design so well, and it will be quite hard to be able to crop them later. Whereas if it's just this sort of starburst, there won't be any issue cropping the cards once they're printed. I'm going to start with a small little gouge, number 1 gouge, and with that I'll be able to cut out the letters, and that will hopefully mean that none of the letters should spray off at all when I'm carving the rest of the block. So I'll put that into a time lapse, and that will speed through the cutting, and I'll let you know how long it takes. So here's the finished lino cut. It took me just over half an hour to do the cutting. It's quite a simple one, it wasn't too intricate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink it up and see if there's any things that need to be changed, but also do a initial print just to see how it's looking when it's printed back into its positive form. So here I've got a mix of blue and white. Should give a nice light rich blue. As I roll it, I think it often looks a bit like the ocean. So let's see what this looks like. Check there's not too many bits on it. Okay. I'm not going to be too worried right now about the alignment. It's just to see how it looks. It looks nice. Probably a little bit too much ink on the thing itself, but that would be a good starting point. So I've just laid out the process here. So I've got my initial sketch, my negative transfer, my lino cut, and finished print. I'm just gonna crop this, and then I'll have the finished postcard size. So here are my finished prints. I have produced these on smaller sheets of card, so they're pre-cut. I protected my press with some extra scrap paper. Most of the designs work out fairly well. As a bit of a sort of review or thoughts from this, I think in the future I'm going to try not to have too much extra ink on the block itself, as I'm finding that when I'm rolling these through the press, the ink is coming up around the side of the block and they're making a bit more of a sort of an outline glow, and I'd like to be able to reduce that in the future. To stop doing that, I might use like either just less ink or try and get it thinner on the roller before transferring it to the block. I think it'd be quite fun in the future to also print this design on top of another design. If there was another background print or maybe a bigger explosion behind, you know, that would make it more animated and more impressive design. And also maybe, you know, bring the center either right to the center of each design, or maybe have it off center, and then you've kind of got more like a firework impression. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to subscribe, then please do so. And if you really like it, just give it a thumbs up. If you would like to have any questions or any comments, then please put them in the section below, and I will try and answer any questions you have. Thank you for watching.